Okay, thank you guys for joining me today. Again, today we're going to be talking about time blocking and kind of the idea behind time blocking is just a really great way to organize how you're doing things in a daily schedule. And again, how to put that together for you. And the most important thing is, again, this is all extremely customizable, right? You guys know what you have outside of work. How you work best and things like that. And so, the times I'm going to use are kind of a more standard 9 to 5, 9 to 5:30 kind of schedule. But again, everyone has different things in their lives that are going on. And one of the nice things about real estate is that it is fairly flexible. If you don't control your time, it's going to control you. And we often run into an issue with agents who get burnt out a little bit. They don't schedule the time to sleep, to eat, to be with their family, to exercise, whatever other commitments there are. And so you need to kind of take those into account and make sure that you're scheduling those into your calendar every week and every month. Um, and really think about how many hours you have for real estate. And again, I put together a schedule. I put 50 on here. This assumes that we're working a lot of the time on the weekends. Some people try to just take Saturday off every week and they don't schedule anything. And you can totally do that. The biggest thing in this business is, our clients usually want to go out fairly quickly, or they have kind of limited time as well. And so it's totally fine to take a day off, right? It's totally fine to take afternoons off, or to, again, to make the schedule work for you. But what you need to do is make sure that you have coverage, right? So if you say I can never work on Saturday and Sunday, you can still be successful in this business, but you need to have a partner, right? Someone who can actually take people out on the weekends, because that tends to be one of our busiest times. I've kind of come up with what I think the six most important things that you need to make sure that you have in your daily and weekly schedules are. And those are kind of email and prep work, market research, education and development, open houses and showings, social media and rent hot posts, and prospecting, right? And again, we're going to kind of dive into each of these different topics and think about how we can best utilize the time that we're devoting, and that kind of helps to create how many hours a week we're devoting to each of these things. Again, if you're part-time, maybe you need at least 20 hours, right? Because there still are a lot of things to do and you need to have time for it. So even if you are working part-time, it's something that you need to be able to devote at least 20 hours to, and to create a schedule for. So again, email and prep, this one seems pretty simple, but as you've established, especially in the days of COVID and with everything that we have to do to actually get a showing together, we need to make sure we're scheduling time for email, for prep, for putting things together. Block out time to get back to people, right? I think one of the most important things is that, a lot of times, and again, it's not to say that you don't need to get back to people kind of in a timely manner, but we can kind of get overwhelmed by the number of emails that we get. Let's say you get a new listing. I just put one up last week and I've already gotten like 45 responses to it for people who want to show it, right? And that's overwhelming, right? You see these pings coming through. I'm getting these notifications that people want to see it. And so what you have to do is kind of block out time to get back to them and to go through it, right? One thing that you can make it easier for, especially if you have a listing or something like that, is to kind of have a little form email put together that you can send out with information to people. So again, if you're taking out a renter, hey, just want to make sure you've got X, Y, and Z together. And again, keep that in a Word document. You can cut and paste it, and it will save you time from typing everything out. The sooner you get back to people, the better, but make sure that you have time with your phone off. Again, I just turn my phone off now because otherwise it just goes crazy. And really during a time when you're getting back to people, right, you can wait to screen incoming calls and things like that. Give yourself time to get organized. Again, maybe you don't have that many emails to send, but use the time to follow up with past clients. Ask for referrals, ask for reviews. Get organized, right? Start setting up showings and things like that. The second thing is market research. And again, we tend to, learn a lot by doing. Obviously, every time you go out, you're learning the market, you're learning the cost of apartments, you're learning the process a little bit better. And so this kind of does combine a bit with actually showing and things like that. But you should be devoting some time every week to market research and getting to know what's available, right? This is doing searches in OLR, doing some searches on Urban Digs and things like that. Um, it helps you with mass emails that you're going to send. It helps you when you're talking to someone, when you can talk about what's happening in the neighborhood that you're focusing on. Again, if it's Long Island City, right? Do you know the new buildings that are coming up, when the completion dates are? If it's a condo, if it's a rental building, if it's commercial, again, whatever neighborhood you're focusing on, you should really know about it. think about real estate as your career, right? It's a lifestyle. A lot of people say that, but you need to know what's happening and what the newest things happening in the market are, right? And a lot of this we go over at the meeting. So, again, that's important to block that in. But, you can really start small, pick one neighborhood and get to know what's going on, right? What's the average price per square foot? Urban Digs makes this super duper easy for us to do. Again, when you're pulling infographics or when you're pulling information on the markets to send in a mass email, that's you doing market research because you're really getting to know what's going on and also kind of know the inventory, right? What the newest one bedrooms, two bedrooms are. I recommend that in OLR, and again, you can set up a search for yourself. You can set up a search for clients. I would put yourself in as a client and set up a search alert from $1 to $10 million for whatever neighborhood you're focusing on. And that way, every day you're going to start getting an email from OLR with any new listings that are on the market, right? And this quick email really just helps you know what's going on in your target market area. I have one set up for me. Again, I tend to work with a lot of investors. I think some of the best investments in the city are pre-war condo buildings downtown. And so I have a search for basically every neighborhood. And every time a pre-war condo comes on the market, I get an email for it, right? And so I'm on top of that market. I can tell you what's on the market. I can tell you kind of what a good value is. And again, it's getting listings in front of me kind of consistently. Every morning I wake up, I check my email. I can see the 4 to 5 newest downtown condos on the market, right? And that's what I'm doing. So do it for a full neighborhood, right? It doesn't have to be just condos or co-ops. Again, Tom, if you're doing, Midtown East, you can know every day what's come on the market, right? Then you're getting a sense of pricing, you're getting a sense of what good value is and things like that. And again, there are tons of resources for this. Urban Digs is probably the best, and OLR, because they have really live information. But you can find stuff on StreetEasy, articles and things like that. Inman News is a really good one for kind of across the United States. There's a website, YIMBY, Yes in My Backyard. That really goes over new developments, permits that were filed, and things like that. Again, you can kind of keep on track of what the new developments are, and just Google, right? If you see a new building going up down the block from you, Google, new building on West 3rd Street, right? And you can see what's happening, right? There are articles often posted about all these things, and it really helps you get a sense of what's going on and keep on top of what's happening. And again, you need to devote some time, right? This is probably not a huge chunk of your week, but even if it's just an hour a week, you're devoting time to getting to know the industry better, to getting to know what's going on and things like that. So again, what I say is, choose a neighborhood, do a sales search in that neighborhood from $1 to $100 million. Think of how many results you have, right? How many of those are below $1 million? What is the cheapest one bedroom? What is the cheapest two bedroom? You can look at market trends in the neighborhood from Urban Digs and from OLR. And you can also kind of get a sense of what the new developments are, right? Again, Hudson Square is an area we've got a ton of development right now. 70 Charlton, 77 Charlton, 110 Charlton, 101 Van Dam. There's all these new buildings going up. And because that's one of the areas I focus on, I know all these buildings, right? I know, that in order to get a good one bedroom at 77 Charlton, you're going to need to be paying a little over 1.1 million, right? I know that at 110 Charlton, they have some off market places with huge outdoor spaces for about 2.5 to 3 million. And that's just for me kind of being in the market, being in the know. But you can find a lot of this stuff on OLR. Again, do a sense of the difference between condos and co-ops in the neighborhood. What are the trends that you're seeing? Again, Urban Digs is really great for trends. Is there more inventory? Is there less inventory? Are things going into contract? Just start to get a sense for one neighborhood, because then if you have a client somewhere else, you can really take that information and put it somewhere else. So education development, and again, as a new agent and or as a kind of mid-career agent and things like that, or even as an experienced agent, right? We need to keep learning, and again, we learn things in different ways. We have a ton of workshops and skill building sessions every week. There are thousands of pre-recorded ones, both on my YouTube channel as well as on the Weichert University. And again, don't get overwhelmed, right? If you say, oh, I'm going to do 40 hours of education this week, you're going to go crazy, right? So plan time for this each week. If you're an experienced agent, maybe you have to start thinking about your license and your continuing education and stuff like that, right? And there are courses that are offered. Jamie Heiberger has some great courses that she does on Zoom. Those count for continuing education, right? And you can schedule these, one a week, one every 2 weeks, one a month, and get your continuing ed done that way as well. So look at the schedule and plan around it. Again, we kind of have this time standing every week for webinars. We've got a couple other ones. Think about these workshops as a way to better yourself and to learn new tips and techniques and things like that. And all of this is really about you getting better, building your business, and really improving upon yourself. So make sure you're dedicating some time every week to either continuing education, to our workshops here in the city, or to the Weichert-wide workshops that are going on. Open houses and showings, right? So hopefully you guys get to a point where this is taking up most of your time. Tom said, when you use the term off market, does that mean not listed and offered privately? No, Tom, what I meant by off market was things that have come off the market, like they didn't sell. So those are opportunities, for expired listings and things like that. But you can get a sense of what sold, what didn't sell, and whatnot. So open house and showings. Again, this tends to be where we want to focus the most of our time, because obviously we need to be out with people. We need to be in front of people to be making money. But you can get to a point where you're focusing too much of your time on this and you're neglecting everything else. And so it's all about a balancing act, right? Don't run yourself ragged. Again, let's say you have a request to show one building at noon, and someone else wants to see the same building at 4, right? Try to find if there's a time in the middle to put those together, right? Group people together. Hey, we only have access from X to Y. Most of the time, if someone really wants to see an apartment, they're going to be flexible, right, by a few hours. And so that can really save you time by going, back and forth to show properties, having some time just sitting there and stuff like that. Again, potentially if you're doing an open house, these days we're really doing by appointment open houses. But those are great times to work on prospecting. And while you're sitting at an open house waiting for people, you can be doing market research, right? You can be answering emails. There are a lot of things that you can do well there if there's no clients there. So just think about that and how you're scheduling your time. Again, weekends are a great time for people to see properties. Oftentimes we can see multiple ones, and use the time in between showings. So let's say you have showing at 1 and showing at 2, you've got an hour, right? Work on your social media posts, right? Create a little feed, create a quick video, some information about the area. All these things can really better your online presence and things like that. And again, if you're taking someone out, right, if there's 4 properties they want to see, try to see if you can see all of them around the same time, right? Group them together, because the more you show someone, right, if think of the time that it takes you to potentially, get to the neighborhood that they're looking at, walk between apartments and things like that, see appointments. If you're doing it that way and you're taking them to see 4 places, it gives them a better sense of the market, right? It gives them a better sense of what's out there rather than just showing 1. And again, if you're showing 1 every day, think of the commute time, think of the time that you're wasting in transportation, and in transit, and really try to get stuff grouped together, right? Again, most of the time we can get 2 or 3 or 4 appointments kind of back to back. Again, maybe if you're meeting someone for the first time, you're going to go out there and just show the 1. But once you have an established relationship, try to group stuff together. Oh, hey, this can't show till Saturday. What if we see both on Saturday, right? And most of the time that's going to work for people. That's also going to save you money, right? On transportation, on Uber fares, whatever it is that you need to do. So social media and RentHop, and again, I kind of group these 2 together because I see them as a way of kind of expanding our network and things like that. Posting ads on RentHop is getting your name out there for rentals and really expanding your exposure. Again, make sure that when you're on RentHop that you're updating and tracking your ads, you're seeing what's working, what doesn't. And as you post, and again, I recommend having about 10 to 15 ads up at a time. You can change out 5 every 2 to 3 days or something like that. Track what's working, what isn't. As you go through, you can see what ads got responses and how many responses, right? And by tracking those things, it's really going to help you get your knowledge of what works, what doesn't, and things like that. And devote some time every week to building your online presence. Again, do it in between appointments. If you're at a building, take a 10-second video. Hey, great 1-bedroom on the Upper East Side, or whatever it is. Because those showings are a great way to kind of get your name out there as well and to show people your knowledge. Again, posting to your Facebook business page, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it is that you want to do for your social media presence, right? Just make sure you have something. So it's just another way of people knowing that you're in real estate, right? Especially if you have like an Instagram account. Every time you post something, it's going to remind people that you're in real estate and remind them that this is what you do, and that's how you're going to get more referrals. So it's really important to have at least a very basic online presence with social media. So again, especially at the beginning of your career, prospecting is where you should really be devoting a lot of your time. It's important to make sure that you are doing activities that are going to get you more business, right? All the market research, right? You can be a master of the market and have no clients and not have anything because you're not actually out in the field with people. So we have so many different prospecting activities. And really, I would say at the beginning, at least half your time, if not more, should be devoted to prospecting until you're at a point where you have so many clients that you're working with that you can kind of tone it down a little bit. And that's not to say you can stop prospecting, but it is to say that you can kind of take your foot off the gas a little bit and devote some of that time to other actions. So, again, we have company-wide call sessions 3 times a week. My recommendation is to at least do one a week. And even if you don't want to call Lead Network or Rental Network clients, use that time to call for sale by owner, to call expired listings, to do things that are going to get you business, get you listings, get you clients, get you people to work with, and things like that. And again, it's nice to be on the call. I know some of you have done them before. You kind of get some tips of what to say to people, some dialogues that work. Again, it's really just about devoting some time in your calendar to doing this. And so again, we have our 3 sessions, Tuesday from 4 to 6, Wednesday from 6:30 or sorry 6 to 7:30, and on Thursday from 10:30 to 12:30. So again, as you see in the schedule, I picked one of those to be a part of, but or 2 of those. But it's really a way for you to make sure that you're actually doing business activities when you should be doing them. Other things that are kind of prospecting, open house attendee follow-up calls, right? Every Monday, and again, you'll see in the schedule that I put together. I always call everyone that I met over the weekend, check in with them, see what they thought of the properties, get some reaction, follow up with the listing agents and things like that. Prospecting is also calling your friends and family, right? If you're new to the business, just telling them, hey, just wanted to let you know I'm working in real estate in New York. I'm new, but I've got a great team of people behind me. We can do any part of the process from renting to buying to selling to even commercial real estate, right? And just telling them that you're in the business. Calling for sale by owners and previewing them. Sphere of influence reminders that you're doing this. Visiting neighborhood buildings, right? Talking to doormen, talking to stores, seeing how things are going, right? Just getting your name out there and talking to people and letting them know that you're in real estate. Again, giving out your card and stuff like that. We've got the leads from the call sessions. And again, just as a reminder, you don't only have to do it on one of those 3 call sessions. You can do a private call session if you're on the Lead Network to call potential buyers whenever you want to. Send people open house invitations for the weekend, right? Let's say you're sitting in open house on Friday. Use some time on Saturday or Sunday. Use some time on Thursday to invite people to the open house, right? I always tell people the worst thing we can be in this business is passive, right? We get a listing, we put it online, we just sit and wait for it to be rented. We need to be getting the name of this out. We need to be marketing that listing because that not only helps get that property sold or rented, but it also helps to get your name out there, right? More people are going to know about you that you're in real estate and you're telling them what you've done. So again, if it's people in a target building, neighborhood emails, pick some rental buildings, let them know it's a great time to be buying and that you're having an open house, or even, again, telling other brokers in the neighborhood that you've got this listing, right? Spend some time doing that and getting your name out there. Expired listings, again, it's a great way to prospect people who had the listing on the market, took it off for some reason, weren't happy with their broker. It's a way that we can kind of reach out to people and say, hey, can we be of service to you? Can we help you sell your listing? We also have renter to buyer emails. Oops, sorry, I mentioned that twice. And OpCity leads, right? OpCity, we've been having a ton of success with OpCity for leads in all the boroughs. A lot of them are in Staten Island and Queens right now, but we do have some great opportunities to work with buyers. And again, a lot of it is taking the calls, making sure that, when you're on the prospecting call session, right, you've got your phone ready. So if you get an OpCity lead, boom, you can click on it. And again, that's a great time to work on getting more clients to work with. Again, prospecting, all it is getting more people to work with, because again, this business, as many of you have experienced, is a bit of a numbers game, right? You need to be working with multiple people. People find their own apartments, things fall apart, people decide not to move. And so we need to keep our numbers up so that, we're converting a good chunk of the people that we're working with. And again, if you're on RentHop, it's probably 1 in 10 to 1 in 15 that will work out. And so think of how many ads that you have to put up to get to that number, right? And one of the most important things is anytime you're doing that, anytime you're showing a property, if it doesn't work out, you have to see it as a learning experience, right? That's something that's helping you gain a better knowledge of what's on the market, right? Maybe you go with a client to see an apartment you couldn't get into without a client and it's awful, right? You don't advertise that anymore. You see something that's great, you advertise it again, right? It helps you talk about it. So the next person who calls you, you can go over, oh, hey, this one's actually really small, but I saw this great one. It's only $50 more and it's huge, great renovation. You're looking right at the Barclays Center, right? Whatever it is, it's helping you gain more market knowledge and experience, and therefore making you a better agent. Okay, so this is a very, very, very basic, and again, I'll send you guys this out, way to kind of divide your time. And again, if you look at what hours you're actually working in here, it adds up to about 42 and a half hours, right, over the course of a week. And so even if you take out one of the days, let's say you don't want to work on Saturdays, you're down to under 40 hours a week, and that's what I would kind of consider full time. Again, as newer agents or as people who are kind of still emerging, you might want to devote a little more time. And again, these things can be moved around. So just to kind of walk you through this. So again, start with the things that are fixed, right? What is fixed in the schedule? So if you're a new agent, you're probably doing Accelerate. And so that's in here on Mondays and Fridays from 10 to 12, right? So that goes into my calendar right away. Boom. I know that 4 hours of my week every week until I'm done with it are taken up. And then that can be shifted to something else once you're done with Accelerate. Again, we have the company-wide sessions, and again, maybe you're targeting for sale by owners on Tuesday at 4, and maybe we have the company-wide call session on Thursday, right? Especially at the beginning of your career, you want to try to be doing prospecting, for at least 4 to 6 hours a week, I would say. And the company-wide call sessions are a great time to do it, to make sure you're doing it, to log on, to hear people's dialogue, and again, to be doing it with other people, so you feel like you're not doing it alone. Again, we used to do this a lot together in the office and things like that. These days we're doing it virtually, but it's still a great way to kind of block your time out. Again, every day, and for me, oops, hold on 1 second. Tom asks, can you enter Accelerate at any time? No, you have to start during one of the first 2 sessions, but you can still sign up for it if you'd like to. The next go around, it should be starting in mid-March. So if you haven't done it, you can, Tom, you'll have to tell your primary manager that you want to do Accelerate, and she can sign you up for it. So again, I have every day, right, from 9 to 10. And again, I took it out because you can always do it on your schedule. If you wake up at 7:30, you got to walk the dog, have breakfast and whatever, and you're not done until 9:30, not a problem, right? Start your day at 9:30 and kind of push some of these things back and change around your schedule. So I put in an hour every day. Again, the beginning of the day tends to be a lot of follow-up, responding to emails from the night before. Again, on Mondays, it's talking to the people who came to my open houses or who came to showings and following up with them. On Tuesday, it's updating my listings and making sure I'm getting ready to put up any open houses for the weekend. Again, the earlier in the week you schedule your open houses, the better, because that time is going to be out there. More people are going to know about it. And so I always say, put up your open house on Tuesday, right? You need to be able to block out your time. And you might say, oh, I don't know who I have to take out. Well, again, schedule the time. If you have to move it down the road, it's not a problem. But if you already know it's in your schedule, put it up there. Again, every day I have this email and follow up. I know that my mornings almost every day are going to be where I'm kind of following up with people. Again, I have, this is a sample schedule, but every Monday and Thursday I have a call with a couple agents from 9 to 9:30, and we talk every Monday and Thursday. I know that's in my schedule. That doesn't change. Again, let's go through Monday, but usually there's some sort of Weichert webinar in the afternoon. Again, that's education. Block out some time for yourself, right? That's not to say maybe you're not answering a call or an email, but again, we all need some time away from this. And so every day I have an hour for lunch and self-time, right? That doesn't mean maybe I'm not going to answer my phone, but it means that I am taking a little bit of a break from real estate and giving myself time to eat, giving myself some time to really take in what's been happening, get regrouped during the day and stuff like that. So again, rent hop ads, Monday afternoon, because you're going to start getting new listings Monday morning when you're checking your emails probably. It's a good time to post them. Again, anytime is a good time to post them. Just posting them is great because that's going to start your business. Again, showings. And again, this might change, right? Maybe you're showing, one client, on Tuesday morning, right? And so you're not doing the for sale owner prospecting, but you're showings, right? And that might change every week. But again, put in especially the things that to start. And again, you can always move things, right? So maybe at 4:30 you're actually showing, so you can't do the social media posts till 5:30 that day, right? Or maybe you have to move them to Tuesday. That's okay, right? You just can't replace these things on your calendar. You can't get rid of them, right? You can move them, but you can't delete them. Showings, social media posts, email follow-up, again, making appointments for the week. Again, I'll, generally go through this, Christine has her rental group. So if you're into rentals, it's a great thing. Put it in at 7 o'clock. And again, maybe, you don't want this little time block for yourself in the middle. So you just push everything forward, right? And on Wednesdays you sleep in, you're not starting until 11, right? that's totally fine. It's all about finding a balance and finding something that works for you, but putting in the things that are scheduled, right? Again, the company call sessions, making sure you're putting up social media posts and rent hot posts. Maybe sending mass emails, right? When are you going to check your mass emails every week, right? It should only take you once all the zip codes are in, which I hope all of you have at least a couple zip codes in your system. It's super simple, right? It takes about 2 minutes to put a mass email together and send it out. And again, put in times. I've got a time here on Wednesday to send out mass emails to my farm area, right? Because then every week I'm going through and I'm doing it and I'm checking them. I'm seeing the responses, right? And again, things are going to move around. Again, office meeting at 11 on Wednesday. We have it every other Wednesday. So again, um, we do not have it. We do not have it tomorrow. So there you go. You got another hour back. So what are you going to do in that hour? What are you going to do to kind of fill your time, right? And again, a lot of our time at the beginning is going to be, market research, prospecting, following up with clients and things like that. But figure out a way to best work your schedule. And again, if you're not feeling that you're productive at home, and you need to come into the office, that's totally fine, right? Come into the office for a couple hours once or twice a week. That's not a problem. Again, you can totally do that. The Soho office or the Midtown office. I'm usually up here in Midtown once a week. I can get keys for you. If you want to start coming in here more, just let me know. Or if you want to go into the Soho office, I can make copies of the keys and stuff like that. So again, just take advantage of the fact that we have offices that you can go to. So if you're not productive at home, get out of the situation, right? For at least a couple hours a week. And again, maybe it's, hey, I've got to come into the city for showings, and I'm going to try to do that every Tuesday morning. So then I can be in the afternoon and I'll be in the office for the call session, right? Or whatever that works, whatever your schedule works for you. But take this as a template to make sure that you're doing things every day. Let's see, we got another question. Oh, no, that was Tom saying thank you. Okay, that is it. I'm going to send you guys the slides and stuff like that. I'm going to stop the video.